European Championships, where it's 0-0 after 90 minutes. So we're now going to play 30 minutes more of extra time. We're about to rejoin you now as the first period of extra time about to get underway. And unfortunately we've got 0-0 at the moment written all over it, and disappointing so far. And we're just waiting for both teams to get ready. The referee is ready, and we're up and running now in the second half. In the first period of extra time, sorry. We're just waiting for 15 minutes each way, and if there's no decision at the end of that, we will have penalties, folks. So here we go then. No changes from either side. So here we go, another 30 minutes more, and well, at least the first 65 minutes of the final was pathetic. Let's be fair. But the last 25 minutes of that final was a very good watch. It was better. It looked good. But at the moment, we are still awaiting the first goal of this final. Gignac came closest. He hit the post. He came on as a second half substitute. Here's Rafael now for Portugal. Portugal, for the record, attacking the goal to our right, and France to the left. In these first 15 minutes, what will happen is basically they'll play 15 minutes. Referee will blow for half time, and then they will both swap ends and then attack opposite sides in the second 15. And if there's no decision at the end of that, then we will have a penalty competition to decide the winners of Euro 2016, which would be a bit of a shame, really, a bit of a letdown if it was to be decided that way. Portugal have won through the back door on penalties already in this tournament. It would be a real shame for football if it was to end that sort of way, because what we've deserved, I mean, we've seen one or two very good games preceding this final, the second semi-final. Here's Sissoko for France to Griezmann. Surely we have to see a goal in extra time. We don't. The last thing we want to see is a penalty competition. But at least we'll be able to stay with you till the bitter end, regardless of which. Here's Evra now for France. Into Gignac, edge of the area. Gignac turns, can't shake off the advantage. Here's Matuidi to Pogba. Pogba out to the far side, and Bakary Sagna. Sagna back again. Here's Pogba. Pogba into Griezmann. Griezmann now 10 yards inside the Portuguese half. Tries to play it into Coleman by the edge of the D, and he can't take it out. And here's the chance now for Nani to break out to Quaresma. Now on to Moutinho. Moutinho plays it carefully into the path of Cedric. On to Nani. Nani again. I think he's taken over the captain's armband, I think. Looks like he's got the captain's armband on to me. Maybe he has. And he's been given to him by his great mate Ronaldo. Almost 3 minutes gone of the extra half an hour. 15 each way, remember. 0-0. 93 minutes in total of normal time played, if you exclude the 2 minutes we had at the end of the first half extra and the 3 at the end of the second half. And still no way through at this precise moment, but there is still plenty to go at. There's still plenty of football. Both teams, one mistake now could prove very, very costly, and it could cost double the time. Remember though, no golden or silver goals anymore. Portugal fell victim to the silver goal rule in 2004 to Greece in Lisbon in Euro 2004. France actually last won the Euros on a golden goal through David Trezeguet in 2000 in Rotterdam. Portugal have a free kick here to the left of the D. A good portion out, I would say about 30, maybe 40 metres out. Quaresma blows it into the mix, and the header comes in, and it's just wide. And it was Pepe with the header in just by the penalty spot, but the whistle had gone anyway for offside. The flag had got up on the near side. Good spot there by the officials, yeah. Take your choice from two there. Pepe was certainly one of them that was offside and interference almost certainly with play. Although Ronaldo, it looks sparkly there, that he thought that the injury affected him too much. I don't think the injury at the moment has affected him too much. Coming up towards 5 minutes gone of the first period of extra time. 10 minutes of the first period of play. And here comes Sissoko. Sure, his shirt was being tugged there, and the referee concurs and books him. In fact, it was Raphael who's the man who pulled the shirt. Well, I've seen some very bad games over the years, but that 65 minutes I've witnessed tonight before the last half an hour was diabolical, to say the least. At least the last 25 minutes lived up to it. Oh, the game has lived up to its billing. We're into the 6th minute of this extra time, and still no breakthrough. Pepe came closest, but he was offside. And Titi to number 14 here, Matuidi, crossing from the left hand side, but it's well cut out by William Carvalho, and it will be a throw now to France, about 5, maybe 10, well, halfway inside the Portuguese half. Evra trying to get a ball and get it back into play with the throw. Midway inside the Portuguese half, in fact. Here's Sagna now. This is Pogba now. Still no goals. And here is Ntiti, 5 yards inside the Portuguese half to Matuidi. Matuidi sensibly plays the ball into Ntiti's path. And to be fair, Samuel Ntiti has played an unbelievable game, and I'll tell you what, if he is going to Barcelona, he's certainly earned his move in those last 3 games alone. He really has put himself well and truly into the shot window. There's a player gone down midway inside the Portuguese half. It's Eder, number 9, a yellow card to Matuidi, who rather ruefully smiles at that decision from Mark Clattenburg. And the game is again, after a good 25 minutes, the last 25 minutes of the second half, it's got all scrappy again, I'm afraid. Which is not what we want to see. Please do comment. I do read the comments, so I know you can't see the comments, but if you do want to comment, there is the chat. The chat is still there. Please use it if you can. Because at the moment, the way things are going, it could be the only way that keeps me entertained right now. Because these two teams aren't exactly doing much to give the entertainment value a little bit more of a lift after those last 25 minutes of the second half, when it looked actually quite a good watch, and maybe with that extra time period coming, it's not really been great. 0-0. Surely there has to be a goal in this game. We're just crying out for a goal, which might just open it up a little bit, and that's all we've been crying out for really all night. Here's Coleman, who look like anything happened. His fresh legs really starting to report a new industry about it, and that's surely got to be a yellow card here. Well, it was a desperate challenge by number 14, William Carvalho. He's not been booked as yet, so really was a silly challenge to make. Kingsley Coman was making a purposeful burst towards the penalty area. Free kick about 15 yards inside the Portuguese half. He's really run himself into the ground since coming on as a second half substitute. Matuidi to take the free kick, it looks like. Maybe left to Griezmann to float it in. In fact, he's played it short to Evra. Evra to Coleman. Coleman, can he get the ball into that penalty area? He could make something happen. Charged away by Nani, but Evra has it on the left, infield to Griezmann, and then Griezmann rather stupidly gives it away inexplicably to Nani, and now the ball played up towards Adair on a halfway line. It almost rugby tackles Matuidi there as he goes over the halfway line. The attack again breaks down the left hand side. We've played almost 9 minutes of the second half. We're inside the last 6 minutes of the first period of extra time. 15 each way, remember. Nani tries to control, and in the end Coleman wins it with a good brave header. Now a chance down the left hand side here. Gignac, he'll reach this to the Borsa byline, but Jose Font was there, and he has to concede, I think, a corner. And it's all getting a bit tense down there on that touchline now. The two managers, Didier Deschamps and Fernando Santos, tension on their list. Now, did this cross the line for a corner? Almost certainly it did, so it is a corner. Surely a goal has to come now. Griezmann needs to put a very good delivery in, left-footed. In it goes, out swinger. They all went for it, but it was a Portuguese head that won it inside that 6-yard area. Matuidi heads it back with interest. And Koscielny's still forward, and he's hurt himself now. Game is allowed to carry on now. Here's Griezmann now. Got a chance here now. Gignac was waiting, and he still might fall for Griezmann. It's almost pinball machine time. Griezmann digs out a cross, and he can't find anyone in the area, but it comes to Pogba, far side this time. Up against Raphael. Game carries on. And look at Pogba trying to get past Raphael, and he's done magnificently. This is great skills, and that's the sort of football that Manchester United want to see from him next year if they do pay upwards of £100 million for him. And they've won a corner here, France. 10 minutes of extra time gone. 5 to play in the first period, and then we'll swap round and have another 15 regardless of what the score is. Corner to be floated in by Griezmann. Again another outswinger. Again it missed everybody. There was Pogba forward, there was Koscielny forward. And it missed everybody in that penalty area. Not a good corner. But arguably the player of the Euro so far. To Didier Deschamps, such a frustration here. And Cedric will take as long as he can on this throw. I think Portugal look to me as if they're going to play for penalties, because they haven't got their talisman, whereas France certainly do in Griezmann. Ever winning the header up towards Gignac. He came so mighty close to deciding it in the very last minute of stoppage time. But he hit the inside of the post and it just went out. And is it fated against the French? I really hope not, but you really want them to win just because of what they've had to endure the last 12 months. Ball played in there towards Gignac. Can they take it down? He can't, unfortunately. And it's a goal kick to Portugal, who if you were to describe a cat, it's a lot of the cat's lives, they probably used 7 of their 9 lives tonight. Most of them came in the last 25 minutes of the second half. Last 4 minutes of the first period of extra time now is on now, and then the referee will add on the extra stoppages. I have to say, all the officials actually have been pretty professional tonight. Clattenburg, I have to say, has had a very good game. Not really made too many mistakes. Out of all the bookies he's made, I think one has probably been a harsh one. But here's Nani, and he'll yield the corner, I think. So a little bit of defending there maybe for the French here, as we go towards the last 2.5 minutes of normal time at the end of the first period of extra time. It's got the Portuguese. I think there's probably something in the region of about 10, maybe 15,000 Portuguese in the crowd in Paris. Mainly it's all French flags, red, white and blue. And it's the Reds of Portugal with Quaresma. Bit of pushing and shoving. Pepe, he's not the... Well, Pepe can claim all he wants, but if he's been found to be pushing by Mr. Clattenburg, well, he's blatantly pushed Titi over. He knows he's done wrong. I mean, Mr. Clattenburg is trying to take the heat out of the situation, but I think if he does it again, Pepe, I think the referee should book him. I'm just seeing if he's already been booked in any case. No, he hasn't been booked up until now. Anyway, here's Quaresma with the corner, up by the side. Header comes in, and Lloris somehow kept it out, and then in the end it was scrabbled away before Nani could poach that one into the back of the net. And it's looking fated, folks, as if it's got to go to penalties here. Both teams having chances, but none are being taken. Really has been a game of real missed chances. Certainly Portugal have had the best 2 of the first period of extra time. The Pepe header, which wouldn't have counted anyway, and then that header then, which Lloris almost made a missed error on there. Peter Shilton actually before the game in an interview, as we just break off for a second, as Nani sends that ball in, but it's going to drift out for a goal kick. Last minute of normal time now. But Hugo Lloris, well, Peter Shilton is rated in the best keeper. That's actually a very good save, and I think we're probably criticising him a little bit too adversely there. inside the last minute of the normal time in what's been a disappointing, well, in the main it's been a disappointing test period, but surely no one wants to see this decided by penalties, least of all the players and least of all the crowd. Makes for good commentary though. 15 seconds of extra time to play. Kingsley Coleman absolutely nicked away, and in there now. Last 10 seconds of normal time. Will we have any extra time? We'll soon find out whether Cottenberg decides there is any more. He'll consult Victor Kassai, who I don't think is going to be needed to be consulted because we're only playing 4 seconds over the 15, and that's the half time in extra time, folks. So what we'll do, we'll stay with you now all the way till the end of this final, and what they'll do now is swap round. They're going to take a little bit of lubricant on board then, and I think I mean at least the game picked up as a contest in the second half, and unfortunately it's been very, very stop-start, unfortunately, and well, Portugal have had the two best chances, but they looked as if they're still playing for penalties to me. But anyone in the comments below want to comment, please do. We're staying with you out till the end now, folks. The comment section is there to the right of the stream. Please use it, because we might still need it at this point. Who's going to win the final? Let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. I'll be able to see it come up on my screen. I think France have been the more likely scorers, but Portugal have shown just the one major chance there, that was the end there. Well, Lloris made a smart save on almost his own goal line. Ronaldo still having his two penalties. Chris has texted and he says that France is still going to win. You still have to make French the favourites, even if it does go to penalties, but Portugal have that experience early on in the tournament. But you've got this sense that it has to be France's night, because Didier Deschamps is there. As you can see there, if you've got the television screen on and you're listening to the commentary here, then you've got to say they're more together. Ronaldo is the one that's keeping them together. He's for Portugal. He's the one that's the glue. He might as well be the manager instead of the actual coach. I think he's coaching the Portuguese at the moment, Ronaldo. But you can see there Deschamps' nose, fist pumps all round. Ronaldo, he can't do anything now. He can't even take a penalty, of course, because he's been substituted. So we've got another 15 minutes to go. I'm going to take a sip of water here. So, if there's no decision at the end of this next 15 minutes now, it will go to a penalty shootout to decide. But there's still 15 minutes of football to be played in the second period of extra time. So both teams have taken on. We're still taking on lubricants, extra energy now for both 11. I've just seen a guy on one of my friends on Facebook wish golden goal was still a thing. Although we could be three here, another 3 hours, 3 days and still don't go. And to be fair, he's absolutely correct. It's been Matuidi and Martinho have gone down. We've played 20 seconds now. Now this is what, when there's nothing malicious in that challenge at all, Martinho is acting as if he's been shot again by Lee Harvey Oswald. And I think the Portuguese players should stop surrounding the referee and just let him get on with his job. His foot wasn't that high. I don't even think there was any contact at all. Anyway, no further action taken against Matuidi. Free kick it is to Portugal, however. Far side. And it's about 10-15 yards in, so it'll be floated in by Mario in towards the penalty area. Font goes up with a header at the back post. He can't reach in, and he's going to run out for a throw by the near corner quadrant. Portugal for the record attacking the goal to my left, and France to the right now for the next 14 minutes for stoppage time. There's no winner after that amount of time. We will have a penalty shootout. So we could be late on. It's now 10:16 PM in Britain, 11 local time in Paris. A yellow card for handball, I think, against Lauren Koscielny. Well, he should know. I mean, was it a handball? Let's have a look at it again. Let's see Martinho. Well, I don't think Koscielny touched it. In fact, it came off a Portuguese hand. I think the referee got that one wrong. It came off Adair's hand, in fact. I think they're very lucky to get that decision, in fact. Quaresma's over the free kick, and I think that's a very, very tough decision for France to take. Now, if the goal comes from this, there will be controversy and uproar certainly from Deschamps' camp, because I think that free kick was a very, very soft one. Now, Ricardo Quaresma hasn't got a bad set piece repertoire, but it's not him. It's off the crossbar. Wow, I wonder who had that one. Well, I think it might have been Raphael who struck that one with his left foot. He hit the bar and it somehow came out. It was Raphael. What an effort. Well, left foot, he caught this superbly. Lloris was scrambling and it came back off the underside of the bar, and somehow France survived. So both sides in theory have hit the bar now. Well, I'll tell you what, Portugal, we might have accused them of being negative, certainly throughout the 90 minutes that preceded extra time. But in extra time, they've had a go and they could have scored conceivably 2 goals themselves. Although, having said that, you could easily argue that France should have won it after 90 minutes. Been that sort of a final, really. Tired bodies, tired minds. Been the end of a long tournament. Adair now for Portugal. Adair gets his shot in and it's gone in! And Portugal take the lead. A goal from 25 yards from Adair with his right foot, and it stunned the whole of France and sent the Portuguese, all 15,000 of their supporters, into delirium. He needed a goal. We've got one now with 12 minutes to go, and France, if they're going to save their skins in this championship, are 12 minutes away from losing it. And now Didier Deschamps is now reacting. He's going to bring on number 11 here, Anthony Martial, the man who got the winning goal in the cup final against Crystal Palace for Manchester United, but it was from about 25 yards out with his right foot, shot in. Lloris stretching there and he couldn't get there. And Portugal, who have got to this final, let's be honest, through the back door, and have been rather fortunate in my opinion to get there, finished third in their group, needed penalties to get past, needed extra time to get past Croatia, who were far better than they were, and then they needed penalties to get past Portugal, and then they turned it on in the second half against Wales, and then, well, all of a sudden they're now winning in a final. They don't really deserve to be there. Sissoko comes on, Anthony Martial, but France have been the better side in my opinion, and they're trailing in the final. But it's all hands on deck now. If Portugal can hold on for the next 11 minutes, they're going to win the trophy. And I don't think they've deserved it. And when you look at it, well, now, surely, France have to throw everything at it. They've been the better team as well as the attack-minded side. And that's, Gignac goes down, I think he wasn't going to expect a penalty. I think Mark Clattenburg was Johnny on the spot there. But you just got that sense at the end of extra time when Gignac hit the post and it came away. Was it going to be France's night? Well, it's not a penalty anyway, but... And then Portugal hit the crossbar at the start of this half, and then all of a sudden, Adair shoots. It's a great goal. Let's give him some credit. It was a terrific strike. The one from Raphael before that, preceding that, was a unbelievable strike. And I tell you what, if they do hang on and win, at least Ronaldo can boast to Messi, I've won an international tournament. What have you won? But I think that's... Well, what do you think, you listeners? Comment below, comment to the right. Can France get back into it? That's the question we're posing. The ball played in towards Gignac inside the penalty area. Remember, Deschamps has now put on his 3 substitutes. He's got Martial now on. Surely there has to be an equaliser from France. They've got to throw the kitchen sink at it. Portugal have brought men back. Everett gets into the area. Ricochets about a bit and then it's knocked away by Portugal. And up towards Adair. And Koscielny battling hard. Wild horses wouldn't keep him out of this one. 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes in fact, of normal time to go in the extra half an hour. Martial now, brought on to save his country. Evra crosses in towards the penalty area, and somehow the goalkeeper, Patricio, in my opinion, is not one of the world's best goalkeepers. He somehow gets there, and now will take as long as he possibly can. And this will incite the Frenchman, that's for sure. Well, it's always, well, I can understand John Motson's point of view now. Because I tell you what, if it was a 16-man team, Portugal would have been on the plane 2 weeks ago. And that's the frustration of the 24-man team tournament, when you actually have teams from third place qualified. It's all right for the likes of Northern Ireland. I think it benefits them being in it, but Portugal, I mean, I wouldn't have complained as much if they'd won their group, because it's a group they should have really won. They've got some defending to do, however, because Pepe has conceded a needless corner. So, a real opportunity now for the French, who have been the better side. Let's make no mistakes about it. They've made the better chances. But are they going to come up short here against Portugal? Here's the corner. Griezmann sent it in, and it's headed away. And now a chance here for the break on. And it's Portugal now with Mario. Mario has got Adair now, and here's Nani onside. But three French defenders sneaking back now. Nani's been forced out to the left into Mario. Mario now back to Nani. Well, they can calm it down a little bit from their point of view. But there's no way on the balance of play. They deserve to be winning. And the way they've played in this tournament, they've been negative. They have been lethargic. They have bought refereeing decisions to get there. And now they're on the verge of winning a tournament they shouldn't even be in. They don't even deserve by rights, in my opinion. Because I tell you what, if it had been a 16-team tournament instead of 24 teams, they would have been on the first plane home at the end of the group phases. You mark my words. In the group they were in, they should have been out of the tournament. That's how frustrating it is. Here's Coleman. Can he knock the ball back? Griezmann can't get there. Carvalho's been a tower of strength in that defence. And here's Martinho. Good tackle, I thought, from Pogba. Oh, that's a harsh one, Mark Clattenburg. That's a harsh one if it's Paul Pogba. I didn't think that was a bad tackle at all. And I think the theatrics, we're going to see the same old theatrics now from Portugal here. I'm sorry, but if that's a yellow card, Mark Clattenburg, then I'm afraid to say that your marks out of 10 are going down. That's a poor decision. Definite piece of simulation there. Nani now, near side, cuts in field. France has just less than 6 minutes to say them skins. Portugal now leading in a game they don't deserve to be leading. Because France have been the better team. Have been the better team in the tournament. Here's Matuidi. Matuidi now, deep inside the half. Surely a goal from France has to come now. Ball towards the byline. Goal kick given. Martial wasn't allowed to get further forward. 5 minutes to go. And those Portuguese and that Portugal squad, who, let's be fair, they've sneaked all the way through to the final via the back door, barely deserved to be there in the first place, are on the verge of gate crashing the French party, and I don't even think they deserved it. Not on the balance of play, but they might be doing it. But they've won, and they've got to the final and going to win it in the most totally unsatisfactory manner ever. And here they come again now with Nani, ball into the box, and good defending there by Bakary Sagna. He had to get to that, otherwise it was the final nail in the coffin. And here comes Coman, and a little deflection there, couldn't reach Gignac, and he prevented it from going to Gignac. What an opportunity there, but they've got 4 minutes to go. And now the Portuguese, now they're going to start throwing themselves around and feigning injury here. And if Mr. Cottenberg's got any common sense whatsoever, he's got to add time added on. This is blatant time wasted. I don't care if he's got cramp. These are professional footballers who are fit as fiddles. I've got no sympathy. Add the time on. Now the physio's getting involved, and now they're being... it's an absolute mess. You can tell it's blatant time wasting by the Portuguese. They're one up, they're going to protect the lead, I know that, but Ronaldo now, he's trying to do a Ferguson. You know what? I think it's been a farce. Portugal have been the most negative team in the tournament, and it's unfair that a negative team like Portugal, who only turn up when it suits them, are going to end up winning the tournament. And I just think it's wrong. Why can't the France have been the most entertaining, the most together side of the whole competition, and a 3 minutes away from losing it. And I think that would be a shame for football. It's a defeat for football. Be great for Ronaldo because he ended up lifting the thing, and it would be everyone's worst nightmare, really. And he's there with his heavily strapped knee, and that was a bad thing to happen to him. It was a genuine injury, but at least he can messing with it next season if it is to be the case. When they start verbally abusing each other when the El Clasico comes around next season. Here's Pogba, and it's another 3 kick against Matuidi, and now the referee's conveniently giving decisions all the way round. I'm getting some bad comments now. And anyone who slags me off at the moment, I commentate on these games I see as I see fit, and I don't think Portugal have deserved 1 minute to be winning this game. They don't even deserve to be in the final, but they're going to do it. I'm entitled to an opinion. Don't slam it down my throat. France have been the better team, let's make no mistake about it. Portugal, yes, they've been better in extra time, but as a whole they have not been the real deal. But if they win it, they've won it, and you can't change the course of history. We've got about a minute to go, and Martinho can hook it away. We've got about a minute to go of normal time in what really has been a frankly disappointing match. Quaresma looked offside, but he's allowed to carry on. And that's a good ball played in. Good tackle there. But it's going to be a Portuguese corner. Well, I'll tell you why they're the better team, shall I? They've created the best chances and they've been far more positive, certainly over 90 minutes than Portugal were. No, I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but also as well, in the run-up to the final, they've played the better football. They've got 5 out of 5 in entertainment value. I would have given you early, and I think Portugal, apart from one game in the group where you drew 3-3, you were lucky to get a 3-3 draw in that game. You've been not very entertaining at all. Apart from Ronaldo aside, and we all agree he's a talent, but I don't think Portugal have deserved any. If it had been a 16-man tournament, 16-team tournament, Portugal would have been out. 2 additional minutes at the end. I'm calling it as I see it. I'm entitled to an opinion. Can France get themselves in it, or will Portugal hang on? I don't think Portugal have been playing good football. I thought they were lucky to beat. I have to be honest with you, Hernan. I thought you were lucky to beat Poland, and I think you were lucky to beat Croatia. Very lucky. Fair play, you were too good for the Welsh, but you have been lucky. Nicky says, who's won yet? Well, it looks as if it's going to be Portugal, unless a goal can be found for the French in the 90 minutes. Although Portugal have a free kick, and I hope Cottenberg adds time on at the end for this time wasted, because he's taken about 300 years with this free kick here. Pepe plays it in towards, well, he plays it aimlessly out of play, and so here's a chance now for Koscielny. But we'll praise Portugal if they do hang on, but they have got through to this final via the back door, and that you can't deny. Portugal certainly had the rub of the green tonight. But here's a chance now. Can they get themselves an equaliser, France? They deserve something. They've worked so hard. Coleman plays it in towards the back post. Header one. It'll come here for Martial. Deflected, and it's a corner. It has to be a corner there, surely. Oh, he's given a flag up for offside, for heaven's sake. That is no way offside. I think the referee, I thought that was a very unfortunate decision. The ball played in. Now, was he offside here, Gignac? Actually, he was, to be fair. I've got to be honest. And I tell you what, if that had gone in, well, I don't think it's going to be France's night. I don't know who wants to be manager there. Is it their coach or is it Ronaldo? I think Ronaldo's done more the. Well, they want the whistle now. But I think this is, well, the referee's got to have time on it. He's got to put the goalkeeper for sure. He's took about 6 or 7 seconds over this, 8, maybe 9 seconds. Referee, I think, has got whistle to his mouth here. I think he'll blow, he will blow! And Ronaldo does in fact get his wish now and wins a major tournament with Portugal. But for a long period of that final, France were the team in the ascendancy, but they just simply on the night couldn't take their chances. And when Gignac hit the post in the 89th minute, I had a suspicion that it wasn't going to be their night. And you've got to say the goal to win it from Portugal was a piece of pure genius from Adair. The French, some of them incandescently in tears of sadness. And you've wanted so much the French to win, not trying to be biased after the 12 months they had sadness in those terrorist attacks, and a victory for them would have been superb, but we can't take anything away. Portugal, they had to play backs to the walls, to be fair, because they lost Ronaldo cruelly, I have to say, after 25 minutes, but take nothing away from the winning goal from Adair. It was a marvellous goal to win it, but Jackpot says, congratulations to Portugal, still not a fan of CR7. Well, he's going to get the opportunity to lift the trophy. It's tears of joy for him, tears of sadness for at least Ronaldo won't get his hands on the Golden Boot award. That will go to Griezmann. He wins that with 6 goals, but it's no consolation to him, I'm sure. So in the end, Portugal win, but the way they got through to the final, there was some play acting going on in the build-up to in some of the other games, but well, you feel for people like Lloris, Pogba, maybe the bad memories of 2004 for Portugal has been wiped out. Remember, they lost to a sober goal to Greece, and maybe that particular memory has now been banished. Ronaldo, who cried tears of sadness that night, tears of joy for him. Chris is subscribed. Jackpot says thanks for the commentary, always a pleasure to listen. Don't worry, Jackpot, there'll be plenty more to come. The domestic football Premier League commentary is going to come to the channel for the first time next season. Only one live Burnley game at the moment. We're going to do some delayed Burnley matches next season. We'll do transfer videos in the month in between. Thanks for subscribing, Chris. Terrific. So, anyway, before the presentation, folks, I want you to tell me your man of the match. You've got 5 minutes to vote for man of the match. JB's man of the match. It doesn't matter which team it's from. The man with the most votes, come 10:40 PM tonight, will win man of the match award. So please subscribe in the comments to the right, and we'll count the votes. As Portugal now celebrate, Ronaldo is showing off his bare chest now. I suppose he's got every reason to. There's no game on at the moment. Well, let's see how serious that injury is. It could be bad news for Real Madrid, but he won't be worried about that at the moment. Patrice Evra, terrific campaigner for so many years. Didier Deschamps, well, they tried so hard, the French. It just wasn't to be their night. It just wasn't. I feel so sorry for France, but you've got to give a little bit of praise to Portugal, not too much, because I think sometimes it's really, really bad. Well, Portugal's name now being engraved on the Henry Damé trophy, and we just see the picture on the television monitor of the monitor. We're just waiting for the presentation party. Well, they certainly enjoyed that over in Lisbon. There is a comment being made by a friend of mine. People wanted Portugal had won it. They scored in the final. Well, there you go. I've got no disrespect against Portugal, but the way they qualified for the final in the first place sucked for me, but there you go. Chris asks, how do you think Zlatan is going to do next season? Well, if they get Paul Pogba in next season for Manchester United, I believe Manchester United with Zlatan, I think Zlatan will do okay. You know, it'll be a supreme test. He's top scorer in every league he's competed in. La Liga, Serie A, also the Ligue 1 in France. I think he'll do well. So I think Zlatan will be very good. I think Griezmann now is after his he didn't do as well as he could in the final, but Griezmann I think has put himself in the shop window, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of clubs queuing up to sign him. Griezmann, I think he's had a tremendous tournament. He currently, of course, plays for Atletico Madrid. I won't be surprised if Barcelona or Real Madrid line up a bid. You feel for Griezmann, he's played 2 big finals and he's lost them both. He lost the European Cup final, of course, when he had a good chance in that final in Milan to win the game. He couldn't do so, and he had a couple of good opportunities in the final. The best chance of the first half fell to him. Patricio made a fantastic save. You've got to say, Patricio made some cracking saves. He's not the best goalkeeper in the world, but he did what he needed to do tonight, the Portuguese goalkeeper. That you can't deny him. And well, let's give Ronaldo his moment, I suppose. I mean, a lot of people on the stream don't like, I'm not the biggest fan, but you can't deny he's a talented footballer. You know, if he took the theatrics, if he took his time with theatrics, as he has done, and a bit like he would out of his game, I think he could be a very good footballer, and I think he needs to be a bit more sporty, perhaps. But Portugal are the winners, whether we like it or not. Their name is being engraved on the trophy, and it has to be accepted. But when you dissect the game, France did have more than enough chances to win it, and as much as they deserved it on the balance, Portugal scored the only goal that matters. But what a goal to win it! And I suppose if it needed a goal of that quality to win it from a dare, then maybe it was fitting it was to end that way. It was Martinho put the ball into his path and he struck it fiercely with his right foot. Lloris scrambling across, he couldn't reach it in time, and cue pandemonium from 15,000 Portuguese. They've waited a long time for this. 12 years of hurt when they lost to Greece in 2004. Lauren Koscielny knows what it's like to lose a final. I remember him a few years ago when he lost a Capital One Cup final to Arsenal. To Birmingham in his Arsenal days, and he was incandescent. He was deeply disappointed that particular evening at Wembley, but I think that disappointment's been eclipsed by what's happened tonight. So we're just waiting for the presentations to start. I think there's a lot. I mean, let's get the presentations out of the way now. Well, whatever we think of the Ford system, and it is a Ford system, third place getting through. If it had been to 16 teams, Portugal would have been embarrassed in the first round. But let's forget about what's preceded it. Let's concentrate on the covering of the presentation. And Ronaldo, he's desperate to get his hands on that trophy. So the officials, Mark Clattenburg, up until the last 15 minutes of extra time, had a superb game. But he kept giving some very tough decisions against France. But as I say, forget about that. He gets his memento. He's had a good year personally. European final, 2 European finals. He's a good referee. But there you go. So he gets his. He goes to the rostrum now. Gets up his medals. There's the UEFA dignitaries, of course, and. Well, I think France will get over this disappointment they've had. Remember, they've got to just cast their minds back to almost 12 months ago to those terrible attacks in this very stadium, and think of all the life that's lost. And I think that's what they just got to think about. Just take a step back and just think of that. Chris says, are you going to do the commentary for the Olympics? I'm not sure. I mean, the football league season starts when the Olympics start. If I get time, Chris, I will try and do some of the athletics and possibly some swimming events, perhaps a bit of the football. But there will be, I mean, if you want me to do cricket, I'll do cricket whilst we're waiting for the season to start as well. But the Olympics start, I think, in Rio on the 6th of August. It's about the same weekend as the Football League season, and of course the Charity Shield match, of course, starts as well. We will be covering the Charity Shield, by the way, between Leicester and Manchester United. Leicester, the league champions, and Premier League champions, and the cup winners, Manchester United. Anthony Martial winning the game for United that day against Crystal Palace. On the losing side tonight is the French side pick up their silver medals from UEFA. And there they are. Laurent Koscielny doesn't want his nano around his neck, neither does Entity, who actually did some really good work. Anthony Martial couldn't affect it. Carlo Conte should not be too downhearted. Neither should Dimitri Payet. Both have good calendar years so far. Be a major disappointment, but they'll be okay once they're back with their teams. Hugo Lloris, who's had a great year personally for Tottenham as well. Who's going to win the Premier League? Well, let's just quickly answer that question whilst the French get their winners up middles. There's a disappointed lot. To be honest, I don't think. Well, I'd like to see Burnley win it, but I think if you're being realistic, I'd actually like Burnley to finish top 16 or 17. As long as we finish outside the bottom three, that would be success for Burnley. As winning the Premier League is concerned, I think Leicester might finish top 6 or 7. I think it might be. I think you've got Conte going in at Chelsea. You've got Mourinho and Pep Guardiola now installed at the Etihad and Old Trafford respectively. I think, folks, 30 goals. If I could see that next season, Matt, I'd be a happy man. I'd go to heaven and die. Quite an happy man if that was to happen. As a Burnley fan, Jones 25 goals. But realistically, I think it'll be a battle royal between the two Manchester clubs. I think it'll be between Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. I mean, they're now signing good players. You can't discount Tottenham. You can't discount Arsenal. They've spent a few quid now, Arsenal. Leicester will be there and thereabouts, and I think they'll have a really good go, I think, next season in the Champions League, depending on who they get. But we're going to break off for a moment because we're going to see the winners now. Whether they're worthy or not, that's up for debate, and that will be discussed maybe later on another time. But let's just concentrate here. There's the manager of Portugal. We'll answer some questions in a minute or two on what may happen, because we'll have time for more comments in a minute or two. But we're going to just cover this presentation, and a very proud manager, Fernando Santos, who plays second fiddle in the end to the captain, who's right at the back. The captain receives the trophy now last. I think he should be first, quite frankly, but that's UEFA protocol, I suppose. But here we go then, number 17, Nani. He actually ran his socks off, to be fair, Nani. I didn't think he did that badly, to be fair. So there we go. A great great and I think one thing that should be said, that it really has been a fantastic tournament. The president, of course, it's not Michel Platini, that's for sure, anymore, because he's still suspended from football. And really, I have to say, it's been a well worked, really good tournament. It really has, and I think the French public should be happy. They've embraced the tournament. It's been fantastic, and they'll be lining in the Champs-Élysées in about 2 weeks' time for the Tour de France, which at the moment Chris Froome has got the yellow jersey as the Portuguese start the celebrations. And well, it wasn't the greatest of final for 65 minutes. You've also got to look at maybe Ronaldo. Panini makes a good point about the West Ham thing. Yeah, West Ham, they could be up there with the Olympic Stadium move as well. Good point there, mate. They have Payet. Well, if they do well to keep him at the moment. Jose Fonte of Southampton. Southampton at the moment losing players left, right, and centre. They've lost Mane to Liverpool for 30 million. Crystal Palace are signing players for 32 million pounds. And still, we wait Ronaldo to receive the trophy from the president of UEFA. Patricio getting his medal now. So there we go. Ronaldo now just about to get his medal, I believe. So it's going to be their trophy. There's the Henry Damalieri trophy. Frenchman as well. Well, I have to say Portugal were pretty well organised in defence tonight. Although a little negative going forward after 65-70 minutes. But as extra time came in, they did grow into the game. They were better, I have to say, at extra time. That's got to be said. Now, we're going to see the trophy lift now. Ronaldo will receive the trophy. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to receive it from the president of the UEFA. He's got the trophy in his hand. He will now hand it over now to Cristiano Ronaldo. They're all huddled up. And Portugal will lift the 2016 European Championships. And Cristiano Ronaldo, for sure, will milk the moment for all it's worth. They haven't been the most brilliant side, that has to be said, but in the end, you have to say, even if they have been a little bit negative at times and getting through the rounds via the back door, you can't deny that Ronaldo and co have earned their prize tonight. They certainly did in extra time. France were the better side after 90 minutes, but they tired, and that gave Portugal that opportunity. You just felt after 60 minutes and 90 minutes of that final when Gignac missed that golden opportunity, it wasn't going to be France's night. So Portugal the winners, they're going to celebrate long into the night. So there we go, that's the end of the Euros. Now for some announcements for next season. Next season, of course, I'm not sure about the Olympic Games. We'll have a look at that and see how the World Tour will fit in, because the football season will start. We do primarily on this channel do football, but on request I can do other sports like cricket and rugby and one or two other bits that I can do. But at the moment, it's football. At the moment, it's the sport I'm more knowledge about. So next season we will do Premier League football. We will do the big Premier League games that are on TV. Burnley match for the next month or two. We'll do some throwback classic commentaries of Burnley games. And snooker, well, I don't know how to do snooker commentary. I think snooker's off the agenda. It's not snooker. Maybe darts, not snooker. It's going to fit around the football, obviously, because football's the primary sport on this. We're still FIFA 16 videos can still be done if I've got time. I do have a day job as well, Panini, so I don't think snooker's going to fit in that much. Good suggestion, though. Next year we'll be covering most of the big Premier League games, the Man City, Man United, Derby, Arsenal, Liverpool. Some of the televised games will be, hopefully, if I don't get a ticket for the Burnley Watford game, if I can't get a ticket for that, and it's a Monday nighter on the 28th, the only live game Sky are bothering to cover with Burnley at the moment, then we might do a full match commentary on that one as well. So plenty of football. Community Shield to come in about a month's time as well. Start of the Football League as well, so plenty of football coming your way in a month's time. And you know, really, and then hopefully if anybody wants to give any transfer news, not just for Burnley, I'll do the Burnley videos for Burnley's transfer news anyway. I'll be done. The Championship, League 1, League 2 and the Conference. Well, I'm not sure I can do all leagues. The Champions League will be covered quite well. We'll take a look at interesting the British clubs in that and see how Leicester doing that. Europa League will cover at least one game from that a week as well. The League Cup, the Capital One Cup I should say, and the FA Cup as well. There'll be some games from that next year. So plenty of football next season, and of course full delayed commentary on any Burnley game that's not being shown live on Sky or BT Sport. It will be shown. And any cup tie, of course, involving Burnley, again, will be delayed as well. So you won't miss a kick of any Burnley game, whether it's live or delayed next season. So every delayed commentary of every Burnley game will be next season. But there will be a lot of live football as well to come. Manchester City, Manchester United, of course, and really, really good games to come. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you are looking forward to it too. That's it. I think that's it from me tonight. But thank you very much for the 20 games. We've covered 20 games from this tournament. It's been an unbelievable journey. We started at the start of the tournament at the Stade de France, where France beat Romania, but unfortunately they couldn't end in the way that they started against Romania. Portugal, hooker by crook, have won the tournament. They might have won it through the back door, but what you can't deny is they scored a quality goal in which to win the final. They're the European champions after a 60. Let me sum up the 65 minutes. Hardly anything to choose between the two teams. It was terrible first 65 minutes, and then France dominated the last 25 minutes. Came very close with Gignac hitting the post to substitute, but then as we get into extra time, Ronaldo, who came off after 25 minutes of the final, Portugal grew into it, hit the crossbar from a free kick, and then Eder from almost 25 yards out hit it a superb shot into the bottom corner with his right foot. The Portuguese now will do a lap of honour, and what can you say? They're not the best skillful wise, that's for sure. They have got through the back door, but what you can't deny is their resilience and the way they defended in the second half. But you just had the feeling after 90 minutes it just literally wasn't going to be France's night when Gignac hit the post, and I suppose that was convinced me there's going to be pictures taken that you're probably going to see in your papers tomorrow, newspapers tomorrow, the Sun, the Mirror, the Star, the Telegraph, all the big newspapers, the Times as well. So there we are. Portugal, UEFA 2016 winners. Thank you very much for your company over the last month. I couldn't have done it without all you loyal subscribers, everybody that's tuned in and listened to the commentaries. Thank you very much for not only your loyalty but your patience as well. When things haven't worked out that way, and believe you me, it happened during the first half of the final when we lost a bit of sound. But you know, there has been times where it hasn't gone right as far as the live streaming is concerned. But tonight, it's Portugal's night. We'll be back with videos. Hopefully we might start a new FIFA 16 career mode if time permits. But there will be videos being done of the transfers. Any transfers from your club as well as my club, Burnley, please ask, and I'll describe what the signings are and what they might do for your club. That will be our activity for the next month. But we'll see you at the commentaries. We'll be back in a month's time with the start of the Football League season, the Championship season, and of course the Community Shield on let me just check the dates here, on Sunday, August the 7th, where that particular match will take place. Well, thank you, as I say, thank you very much for watching and listening and being loyal. It's because if it wasn't for you listeners, I wouldn't, you know, if it wasn't for you listeners enjoying it, I wouldn't enjoy it half as much as the commentaries, half as much as I do. And I want to thank you, every one of you, all my subscribers, everyone who's listened over the last month to all 20 live commentaries. To do 20 commentaries out of 51 games in the tournament took some doing, and there's been weekends where I've done 2 games a day. I've done a double header, and I've done it because I've done it for you, the people that subscribe and take time to listen to me. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart to all my subscribers. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and it would be great if we could get up to 200, up the 200 mark very soon. But as I say, thank you for listening for the last month or so, for all 20 games that we've covered. There's been some good times along the way. There's been some bad times. There's been a few rants about England thrown in, about how they surrendered to Iceland. We've seen great runs by the Iceland side and the Welsh side, and how well Welsh did and how thoroughly they deserved their open top bus parade through Cardiff the other night. It was very much deserved. But it's Portugal's night. They've beaten France, the hosts, by a goal to nil. A goal of real genius, it has to be said, from Adair. 25-yard thunderbolt. And it's Portugal who party-pooped France's party in Paris tonight. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you for some transfer videos very soon. And, of course, in August, for the start of the new football season. But for me, John Stuttard, JB, thank you very much for the last month. I'm going to take a breather now because I've deserved my rest. I'll see you very soon for more commentaries and some more videos on transfers and whatnot. But for me, JB, after a long month, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you. Take care. Good night.